Good morning, friends. This is Miss Lori from Whippoorwill Holler. We want to welcome you to our home this morning to join us in our daily vlog of just our daily journey of just whatever we decide to do today. We've decided that we're going to get out and stoke up the outdoor wood cook stove. We're going to cook some breakfast and cook a little supper, so join us. So Danny's been working really hard getting this old wood cook stove restored and cleaned up to where we could use it. And he's done a really good job. He's got it all cleaned up and looking pretty. So y'all are going to join us today for the very first fire in his wood cook stove. We're going to cook us a little breakfast this morning, and then we're going to cook up a big old pot of greens, and I'm thinking about baking a ham in the oven out here. It looks like it's drawing good. We'll see if it gets heated up really good. Fires are burning good. Gonna get good and hot. Or we can boil up a big old pot of greens. There sure ain't no shortage of leaves on this homestead. When you live right in the middle of the woods. Makes good compost. Frying up some good old sausage. Swaggerty sausage. I need to get out here and clean on this outdoor cooking shed. It's a mess.
Breakfast on the wood cook stove outside, ain't that something? Then got the sausage cooked. Now we got some of them hen apples a cooking. Smelling good. Breakfast outside on the wood cook stove. Yum, yum.
So we're going to be cooking some greens today. I'm going to make a big old pot of greens. Even though me and Danny are from the South, we don't really care for turnip greens or mustard greens, and that's just us. We were raised on them, cooked all the time in our homes. We just don't care for them. But if we had to eat them, we would. Our choice of greens is kale, fresh kale, or spinach. So I'm going to be cooking a pot of kale today. And right now what I'm doing is I'm going to be rinsing. I'm going to be seasoning my greens with smoked chicken wings. Now you can use smoked chicken legs, or sorry, turkey. Well, let's back up. Turkey wings. That's a big chicken if that was a chicken. Or you can use smoked chicken legs. You can buy them in the store or smoke your own. Maybe you smoked your own. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse these off in case there's just a little bit too much salt on it, and because I don't want my broth too salty. I want to be able to control that salt myself. But cooking the greens with smoked turkey wings, turkey legs, smoked jowl, or just anything like that, it makes them greens so good. But my choice today is going to be 2 big turkey wings. So we're going to rinse these off, and then we'll put them in a big pot, and we're going to boil them for about an hour. And the reason I boil them for an hour is to make the meat on these turkey wings really tender, and they're going to just come away from the bone. And that way I can debone it real easy, and that smoked turkey meat will be in there with the greens. And it's also going to make a really good broth, a good pot liquor for them greens. It's going to be really good. So all I'm going to do is rinse these off, put them in a big pot of water. We're going to boil them for an hour. I won't put no salt in them right now. I will put pepper and maybe a little bit of chicken bouillon in it, and that's about it for right now until we get our greens in there, and that's when we start adding a little more seasoning. So let's get our turkey wings rinsed off and get them in the big pot. Well, it's the middle of November, and my roses have decided to bloom again. It's these warm days, I guess, that we're still having, but that's fixing to change. And even the beautiful velvet red ones, it's like they're saying, wait a minute, I'm not done. Good reason to make some more rose water. Maybe they'll bloom before the cold weather comes in. Cooking a ham today. And what's going to make this ham really good is we're going to be putting it and cooking it in the wood cook stove outside, in the outside kitchen area, our outdoor cooking area, or whatever you want to call it. We've got the turkey wings cooking, boiling out there on the wood cook stove. It's really smelling good out there, y'all. So now we're going to get our ham together. This is a little over a 9 pound, half a ham. It's the butt end of the ham. And it does have just a little bit of fat, but it's not real fatty, so I won't be trimming any of it. Now I did rinse it, and the only reason that I rinse it is just to get some of maybe the excess salt, because sometimes these hams can be really salty. This is a Cook's ham, and I bought it at Walmart a while back. I really like this brand of ham, and it's really not too bad on the expensive side. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this cooked up. But what I want to do, and it's, you know, usually when I cook a ham, I don't really put much on it, if anything. I just wrap it up, put a little bit of liquid in the bottom, and stick it in the oven or in a slow cooker. Because I am the kind of person that I want my ham to taste like ham. I want my turkey to taste like turkey. I want my beef, you know what I'm saying? I don't want so much on my meat that you can't taste the meat. All you can taste is the seasonings. When you season something, you need the seasoning to be in the background of what you're cooking, but you want to taste your meat. So, but I am going to put a little bit of glaze on it, just a little bit, and then at the very end of its cooking, which this one right here will probably cook, I'm sorry y'all, that's my microwave going off. I'm heating something up. At the very end of probably about 30 minutes before it's done, I'm gonna bring it out. And do y'all remember the video I done making cran raspberry relish? Remember us talking about how good this would be on top of a ham? Well, I've got 2 little jars that the rest of them are in the freezer. I'm saving them before the holidays. But I've got enough left here in these 2 jars that I've been keeping in the refrigerator that I will spread some of that on top of this ham, because I'm really anxious to see what it tastes like. Otherwise, you really don't have to put any kind of glaze or put anything on your hams. But I've got my roasting pan here it's big enough for this ham. Now the ham that I'll be cooking for Thanksgiving is a whole ham, so it's a bigger ham. So I'll have to cook it in probably my roaster is what I'll cook it in, because it's pretty good size. This one is 9 pounds, just over 9 pounds, like I said. And all we're gonna do is just mix up some ingredients that I've got here handy. And I always like to put a little mustard on my ham. I even put mustard on my briskets when we're smoking brisket. Before I forget, I've got a little bit of water here that I'm just gonna pour a little bit, not a whole lot, in the bottom of my roasting pan. So I probably got maybe a tablespoon of just regular yellow mustard. I'm gonna put a couple teaspoons of soy sauce, and then just maybe 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now, if you like stuff like cinnamon or cloves, stuff like that, I just don't care for that on my ham, but a lot of people do. So you just make your ham how you like for it to taste. Now, I've got a little bit of maple syrup here. I'm also going to put some of it. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon. And I want to show y'all something. I was gifted. I was so excited too when I seen it. I was gifted a 1/2 gallon of maple syrup. They come in the mail. And me and Danny both are so excited. Now, we haven't opened this yet because we want to use what we've got out first. But this is Vermont. This is, let me read it right, organic Vermont maple syrup, grade A, dark robust. And it come in an Amazon box, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, yes, it did. So I'm pretty sure that you can find this on Amazon. And I'm so anxious to try it because I know it's going to be good. So thank you, dear friend, for sending this. Okay, what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my foil. Now, I did put my water in first. And I'm just going to put my foil down there. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stir this up good. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to douse this side of my ham a little bit with some of this. This is fully cooked ham. I like to take my ham out ahead of time and thaw it out in the refrigerator. Or you can do it in a cold water bath in your sink. And then I like to unwrap it, but then wrap it up in maybe some different, I just put it in a bowl and kind of cover it up. But I like for my ham to come to a little bit of a room temperature, not completely. And what that does is that helps the internal part of your ham to cook better. So we're just going to turn this upside down, just like that. So I've got the flat, the cut part down. Then I've got the fatty parts on top. And it's got this good bone in it. It's bone in. It's not spiral cut. So I'm just going to take the rest of this and we're going to pour it on top. It smells so good. You know, ham is something that freezes really good, and I also have canned ham in my pantry too. Canned ham comes in so handy for so many things, and I had leftover ham. In fact, that ham's probably a couple years old that I've got canned in there, and I use it off and on for different things. And for beans or ham salad or just anything for breakfast, just whatever you might need a piece of ham for, that's what it works good with. And it's an easy process, and I may do that. Maybe after Thanksgiving, if I have some ham left, I'll can it up for you. It's easy, but it's a good thing to have canned up. So we got that on there. What you want to do is you want to wrap it up really tight, especially putting it, since I'm going to be cooking it in the wood cook stove. So since this is a little over 9 pounds, wrap it up tight. I'm probably going to cook this, I'm going to go for a couple hours. I'll check it internally, probably about an hour and 45 minutes. But that last little, probably 30 minutes of cooking, I'll take the foil off and I'll check the temp inside. And then I'm going to put some of this cran raspberry relish on top, and we're going to see how it tastes. If y'all didn't watch this video, I'll put it down in the link. Hopefully I won't forget. I'll put the link down in the description box below the video, where all my information always is. So let's get this, let's take it outside and get it in the oven in the wood cook stove. Okay, we got our ham in the wood cook stove. It barely fit, but we got it in there. And you need to cook it about 350. So we're gonna shut the door and we're gonna check on it probably about an hour and a half and see what the temp is inside. And I can't tell you, Mr. Brown can, how good this pot is smelling up here. It's got them smoked turkey wings in there. It smells so good, y'all. Even out here in the open, you can smell it. It smells wonderful. So we'll get our ham cooked. When this is done cooking and it's falling off the bone, the turkey wing meat, then we'll bring we've got onions and just a couple different seasonings to put in our greens, and we'll wash our greens up and we'll get them in the pot and get them cooked. make sure, now since this is kale, it's not collard greens, it's not turnip greens that's come straight from the garden that are going to be really, really dirty. They need to, your mustards and your turnips and collard, they all need to be rinsed and in a sink full of water, and with salt in it, and you need to rinse them 3 or 4 times to get all the bugs and all the dirt off of it. But this right here is kale that I bought, so, but even though it's been washed, I still go ahead and wash it. So I've got 2 big bags here. This is about 2 pounds of chopped up kale ready to go. I've got some greens planted in the garden and out in some of my containers. They're just now starting to pop up, so I don't know. We'll see how they do this winter. Okay, let's see how our chicken wings are doing. I'm pretty sure they're done. They've been cooking for just a little over an hour, and you can see they're starting to fall apart, and the meat's starting to fall away from the bone. So I'm going to get them out, and I'm going to take them back in the house, and I'm going to try to get the meat pulled off of them. The broth, the pot liquor is what people call it. It just smells so good. It smells so yummy right now. So it's going to make them greens taste so good. Okay, I've got a whole onion and a good tablespoon of minced up garlic. And I'm going to put this in just a little bit of bacon grease that I've got here in my skillet. Danny may have to help me because I'm trying to do this one-handed. I'm not going to cook this all the way. All I want to do is just to kind of get the rawness off of it. That's all I want to do. And then I'm going to throw it in there in my pot. See if Danny can help me just for a minute so I can get the rest of these in there. I'm trying to hold my camera and get this in there without spilling it everywhere. It was about a medium onion, but you can put as much onion as you want in it. If you'd like a whole lot of onion, put 2 onions in it and a couple of tablespoons of garlic. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to cook this all the way. In fact, I'm fixing to take it up and put it in my pot. So it's cooked probably about a minute. And we're going to put all of this in this pot. Going to be so, so good. I had to add a little more water to this as the wings were cooking one time. I didn't really lose a lot of water, but it lost a little bit. Now I've got 2 pounds of greens here. This is some of the prettiest, greenest store-bought kale that I have bought in years. It comes from Georgia. And it's really nice, y'all. And it's not real stout. Beautiful greens. Beautiful kale. We're just going to put the whole 2 pounds in here because y'all know that greens tend to cook down quite a bit. Sometimes I like to mix my spinach with my kale. We're just going to stir this up, and then I've got a few more ingredients I want to put in here with my greens. Before I go back outside, I'm going to try to get some of this meat off here. Now I'm just going to start taking the meat off these turkey wings. Still a little hot. So I'm going to separate the meat from the bones. As you get down into the bigger pieces, you'll have more meat, especially on the leg part. We're going to add some more, just a few more spices in here with these greens. I've got a big tablespoon of sugar. You can put a tablespoon of brown sugar. I do that sometimes. I'm going to put some black pepper and probably about a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to say I'm probably going to have to put more, but I'm going to taste it. I'm going to put a splash of white wine vinegar. Most of the time I use red wine vinegar, but I'm totally out. I'm going to stir this up. Now, I'll taste of this. I'm going to go ahead and taste of this, the juice in here, the pot liquor. See if it needs any more salt. It does need a little bit more salt, and it needs a little bit more pepper. Now, if you like things kind of spicy, you can put a little bit of cayenne in here, and you can put a little bit of hot sauce in it if you want to. Or put that as you serve it in a bowl. Some people put it in their bowl and then put a little hot sauce on top of it. Now I'm going to go back in, I'm going to get my turkey meat, and we're going to add our turkey meat to our greens. We're going to add the rest of our ingredients, which is just our turkey meat that we took off the bone. You can see it's quite a bit off them 2 wings. Just kind of chop them up. We're going to stir this up and put the lid on it, and we'll let it continue cooking for an hour. Okay, we took the ham out, and it's been in there a good 2 hours. And what I done is we flipped it over on its side. So the bone part is down here now. And what I done is I scored the top of this ham. And you remember us doing that cran raspberry relish? I told y'all earlier that we're going to put this on here and just try it and see how good this is going to be. And I'm going to get it down in there in them crevices. What do you think, Mr. Brown?
I think it'll be wonderful.
Now, there's still a lot of juices down in here, and I'm also here in just a minute going to take them juices and baste this ham. So this was, like we said, it was a little over a 9-pound ham, and it cooked for 2 hours. You want about 15 to 20 minutes per pound when it's a cooked smoked ham. We've been fighting the wind out here today, but everything's cooked really well. So I'm really happy with the wood cook stove out here that Mr. Brown found, and one of our friends sold it to us, and so I think it's a good deal. Okay, now I'm going to take some of the juices down here, that is that brown sugar, maple syrup, a little bit of mustard, and we're just going to douse it a little. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put the foil back on there, but I'm going to stick it back here in the oven. Whew, it's gotten up there pretty high. But we're going to stick it back in there real quick. Just like that. We're going to keep an eye on it. Maybe about, we'll check it in 20 minutes, but I'm going to say 30 minutes.
I guess if you notice that I doctored our stove all up and made it look really nice. I put some stove blacking treatment on it. Did the back of it. Treated her up good and got her looking good, and she's cooking like a dream.
These greens has just got probably about, I don't know, 25 minutes left, and they will have cooked for around an hour.
They smell so good.
They do. We just need to make us a pot of cornbread now. Okay, we got the ham brought in. I took the foil off of it and let it go about another 25 minutes. And it kind of browned up that fat cap and kind of melted all that raspberry, cranberry relish down in there. It's looking good. I think I'm going to get me a spoon and dip some of that juice over this ham. I'm going to let it sit a little while. Get some cornbread made. So whether if you're just cooking a ham or just if it's for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatever, of course we've done this outside in the wood cook stove, but you can do this in your regular oven at home, you know, in the house, or use your roaster or slow cooker. But I think this ham turned out really good. Good job, first time. Mr. Brown's old wood cook stove he bought. Good job, Mr. Brown. Y'all, there's a squirrel hiding underneath my wash pan. And he's been just hiding under there for a little while. I don't know if he's trying to stay out of the wind or what he's doing. He's the same squirrel that gets up on my deck every day, several times a day. And you look out there and he'll just be running around, knocking stuff over, getting in the plants, digging around. This summer he'd get in my fountain and he'd drink water out of my fountain. He's not too scaredy cat, but he's just kind of hiding away out of the wind. He's a cutie. I love to watch squirrels. They might be a rodent, but they're really cute rodents. Fried potatoes. We got some corn cakes here, some fried cornbread. Our ham is done. You can probably see it better right here. I'm going to put these greens in a bowl so you have a bunch of that juice. Smells really good. Might have to add you a little salt and pepper to it, not sure. Now I've got, some people like to put a little bit of hot sauce in their greens, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, This right here is from the Olive Tap, and I absolutely love the Olive Tap. They have the best olive oil for one thing, but they have really, really good vinegars and the balsamic vinegars, just your regular vinegars. They have fruit vinegars, just all kinds of stuff. So you go online and look for the Olive Tap. This is just some products that I found a few years ago, and I really do enjoy them. They're a really, really good product. This one here is this is a black currant balsamic vinegar, delicious. And this one is a fig, and it's delicious too. So you can just pour just a little bit on top of your greens, and it just makes it really, really good. So we got some pickled beets, which I love with greens or beans or anything. Then we've got our ham. Ham turned out really good. So I'm just going to put a couple pieces of ham. And if you want to dig down in there and get the ham that's got that juice on it, it's really delicious. But it's also just a little bit salty, because when you turn that, all them juices that come, you know, from that ham and go down in there, any salt that's in that ham, it's going to end up down there in them juices too. But it's so good. And that cran raspberry relish, delicious. So I'm going to put some beets on the side, pickled beets. It puts a pretty color in your plate too. Mr. Brown, are you ready to eat?
You better know I am.
Then we got our fried cornbread, or some people call them corn cakes, to dip down in that pot liquor. And I'm wore out, but I enjoyed cooking on that wood cook stove. We had to fight the wind, and now it's starting to rain, but it's still done a good job, don't you think so? I mean, considering it was our first time cooking on it since you bought it.
Oh, it done a good job. We had wind kept wanting to blow back down in the pipe and this, that, and the other. But other than that, it done real good.
Done good.
It still got heat in it, actually.
So we got our plates ready, and we're going to sit down and enjoy this meal. And I hope y'all enjoyed being with us, watching us cook for the first time on the outdoor wood cook stove. And we're just really going to enjoy this. So if you think you might want to cook you a big pot of greens for Thanksgiving dinner, it's just one of them things that a lot of Southerners do put on their table during the Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays. It's just something special. It takes a little while and takes a little love to get it together and get it cooked, but it's well worth it. So we're going to sit down. We're going to eat.
Which one of these is mine?
This one right here will be fine. I'm going to put just a bit of this fig balsamic vinegar on top of mine. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. So we'll see you in a few days. Hopefully Friday I'll be with you for our cooking from my cookbooks. Y'all have a wonderful week, and we'll see y'all in a few days. God bless everybody. It's been a while since we had fried cornbread.
Hey, the onion and that turkey and green just sets them off.
guess kale's my favorite. Some people probably disagree, but it's my favorite. I seen we had some greens coming up. Lord.
Oh, I like good tender spinach. Good.